And here's the clicker for the.
Okay, that goes from, this is the first time I do this,
Yep.
so,
Okay.
so it's a kind of a honor to be here, and still after 8 years, this is celebrating 8 years. So I don't even know how I ended up being a speaker, but I hooked someone up from UF Proton with someone from the Chordoma Foundation, and then they got together, and then all of a sudden I'm a speaker.
Did it to yourself.
So I had no clue. But anyway, I was diagnosed in 2017. They thought it was a thing that happened because I had breast cancer in the 90s, and perhaps it went to the spine and was creating another cancer down there. And they had MRIs for me at different points in time, and when they did an MRI and a CT scan, they went to my old MRIs, because I stay in the same medical Morse plant daycare thing, and they said, well, there's something here, it's growing, and we would like to take your records to the neurological meetings that we have with Tampa. And so they did, and first thing I know, I'm with Tampa General Hospital, the head of the spine department at USF and everything else, and getting biopsies. And then they said, you have something that is very rare, it's a chordoma. And I'm like, are you sure it's not a sarcoma? I mean, chordoma. And so the whole thing started after that. And here we go on my journey. So, oops, I guess I have a big one. Okay, so this is my unblocked tumor with the bone. I had S3 down taken out, and that little part at the bottom is the coccyx, and that's part of the sacral bones right there. And I sent my phone camera into the surgery with them so they could take pictures. And then this is, I made a decision to go to University of Florida Proton because I knew the effects that I had from photon radiation from the breast cancer. And after reading a lot about the proton, I decided on that because it doesn't go all the way through the body. They have methodology that stops it at certain areas so that it doesn't continue to go through. So this is what they, Dr. Rotondo at the time and his technicians and everything, they put you on a table, they do this, and they get all the little mathematical information that they need to create the compensators. And I'll pass this little part of it around so you can see it. And then this is the bigger one that they use when you're going in. So they have two different types of things. And now I hear these are outdated, antiquated, and they will no longer be used probably shortly, I don't know. But, so we did that. The picture on the left is the one where they make the compensators and stuff. The picture in the middle shows the bed, and this shows the bed also, but it shows the arm and the aperture where it goes around. And they put one of the compensators in that bottom thing, and the other compensator goes into the radiation arm that swings around your bed. And when you're in that bed, you don't know. They really had it down. This is a group of people that I met. Al is one of them, and we spent, and his wife Mary, we spent 2017 together in summertime, and we've become very good friends. And the girl in the red shirt was also with us. We called ourselves the Three Musketeers, and we had a merry time. The gentleman with the white t-shirt and the backpack was from England, and he was here with his family, and England literally paid for all of their bills while they were here. And we found out that was pretty much the case with a lot of foreign people that came. Their countries would pay for them to get the care that they needed, because they didn't have proton radiation or anything in their countries. And they went through a process and they came. And this is at the UF Proton down the road. I don't know if any of you have gone there also, but they had an art section. They had people coming in to play the grand piano, and they always had something to keep us occupied. They had people for the children, like some of the gantry people and the doctors. They would dress as super people when they would come to put the children to sleep, to put, put through the machines and stuff like that. And then one night a week they would have someone maybe playing guitars or whatever, and we would go and have a little thing there. And during the week they would take us on road trips. So we actually came here to Sawgrass for one of our field trips, and then we ate at a fish restaurant somewhere in the swamp. They kept us occupied, and it was very familial. Like over July 4th, we went to the, I don't know what they call it, the word's gone, but the old-fashioned baseball game where they literally wore uniforms from way back when. And they would have East Springfield versus West Springfield. So we picked a side and went to the game. Got our popcorn and everything. And so that's a picture of Jacksonville from my window. We had a place where we stayed at called 3rd and Main, and they had apartment type, hotel type rooms where with a little kitchen and, stuff like that. And they had a room for kids and very geared toward us going through stuff. No swimming pool. And then the middle picture is Anthony looking at some of the artwork that we were doing. We would hang things from the windows and had big weaving things and stuff for kids. I did that little weaving that they sold at a conference here, not a conference, but you have a golf tournament or something, the Chordoma Foundation golf or UF golf tournament, and it sold for like $89. I feel like I contributed. I was so excited. And then this is my ringing of the bell. And when you get to that point, it's very emotional, and you don't think it's going to be emotional, but it's emotional. And I tried ringing it myself, but I guess I wasn't making it loud enough, so Anthony came to help me really ring on that board. And friends and everybody come, and it was really nice. And there's Nurse Michelle Ware, I believe she's at Mayo now, and Al, me, and Dr. Ronnie Rotondo, who is now the head of the Kansas City proton radiation thing through the school there. And so, we all have a down day, and this was out of the window one day, and I said, I've never seen anything like this, and it's all ice particles and stuff up there, but it was just such a unique picture for me, and it gave me like, oh, I'm feeling crappy today, but look at this, and it kind of takes your mind off of it, and sometimes you just have to look and redirect yourself. So we created our own little club, and we called it the Bottoms Up Club. And so to this day, and when I got back, I had a thank you party for all the people that were there for me during the whole process. And so I had the little Bottoms Up logo on a cake, and there's Christina and her husband Lou and some other friends. There was 40-something people there, but I didn't take pictures. And then it's like we created our own support group. We call each other 3 times a year maybe try to get together and stuff. And there's Alan, Anthony, and Christina, Lou, and me. And we would meet them camping once in a while. And there's Mary and Denise. And there's me and Christina with the cake. And Lou made a picture board of everything that we did while we were gone up here. And this is Christina, and I don't know if any of you ever heard of Susan Garbett, but she was very instrumental with the Chordoma Foundation. And she wrote a book, and it is called Confronting Chordoma Cancer, An Uncommon Journey. And it was a very interesting tell on her experience with chordoma and what she went through with her chordoma. So I was very fortunate that she lived in Sarasota. And then here we are. My first checkup was on Halloween of all days. So I got to wear part of my clown stuff, and Michelle dressed up like Dr. Ronnie. As you can tell, I mean, they look like little bookends right there. And Pam was the art table coordinator, and she's a very good artist, and everybody loved her. Unfortunately, it had to shut down during COVID. Whoops. And the healing process of a wound. Staying positive doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time, because you're not going to be happy all the time. You'll be tired, your radiation area is going to burn, you're going to have cream, it's a process. And then it means that even on hard days, you know that there are better ones coming. And I think a lot of times for that, your caregiver has to stay positive, and we don't give the caregivers enough kudos in saying, hey, thank you so much, because this is not fun. And here we are, past Christmas, and they drove from the Panhandle down to Newport Richie, and we drove up from St. Pete and having a party in Christina and Lou's backyard. Meantime, we're still trying to find more Chordoma people. And so, that's another picture of the three of us, and then Christina was determined she was gonna teach me how to kayak. So I actually kayaked it a few times, that was fun. And then went to the Boston International Conference, and that was quite interesting thing. If you ever get the opportunity to go to an international conference, it lasts a few days. There's speakers from around the world, doctors and other people that have it. I couldn't find the picture of the whole group, and it was quite a massive picture. And you learn what they have and what they don't have in their countries that we have. And that's why a lot of people from foreign countries come here, because the Chordoma Foundation that Josh started when he had Cliville, I think, right? Started having these, and they have the international ones every few years. And if you get the chance, just go and hear what they have to say. And then here we are, when you rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, and to love. And so I'm just gonna finish off now. When I was in the hospital, because sometimes you never know what's gonna happen in the hospital, I woke up from my surgery, and there was a doctor that I had never met in my hospital room. And she was going, they didn't get it all, you need to have radiation, and I'm not gonna say the name of the other place. I'm from so-and-so, and you need to have radiation and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm not having that radiation. Oh, you have to, because they didn't get it all. And I said, I haven't seen my doctor. She was very tenacious. She came every day to my room. And I finally said, I'm going with Proton. I told you like 10 times. And because I have lymphedema here. And so finally we talked and came to an understanding of, okay, I'm not doing that. And then I did a lot of research on it. When you get that diagnosis, you're, ooh, what is this? So you start looking it up online, and then you do everything that you can to make the right decision. And I truly believe this was the right decision for me. And found out that a friend had already been to UF for prostate cancer. And then I started hearing about people that had been for the proton radiation, so I felt pretty good about that. And then my suggestions for people are that you're gonna probably have to school your doctors, which I'm sure you all have, like, well, you're talking sarcoma, there's no, this is Chordoma. So you get stuff from the foundation, they'll send you pamphlets you can give to your doctors, and it works out really well. And I asked my oncology guy that I kept him, when I finished my surgeries and stuff, I brought all my records to see if he would continue to see me from he had been my breast cancer guy, and he goes, "You have this?" Yeah. Yes, I'll monitor. And I'm so glad I did, because issues crop up later on. Like, I started having bleeding when I went to the bathroom. So I had to find somebody to do what Dr. Rotondo wanted to do, and there was no one in my area, so I ended up coming back to Jacksonville anyway. But because I had lost so much blood, my oncology doc down there put me in for not for infusions, which I'll be having another one on my surprise after 5 years. So I suggest that you all get someone local that can handle your case. Like we did COVID, he was able to handle the MRIs and the CT scans down there, talk with the docs up here, and they were all on the same page. And it saves you a 5-hour, for me, a 5-hour trip. And so that was good. And my last little thing is always take care of your caregivers, because they are the ones that keep you hopping. So